my example of coming back from Santa Monica, because from the time I was there, like I had completely different interests as well.
Yeah.
And like doing like this section of time, you know, at home, in college, I feel like we've developed other interests, like different interests. Have you noticed that?
I feel there's only really two new things I've gotten into.
Yeah.
I started learning Russian.
Right.
Yeah, I started practicing my Russian. What?
Isn't it? Ruski. Yeah, I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm in the early phases, right? So I'm learning the alphabet, which is super hard.
It's not the Latin alphabet.
I know, you know, English and Spanish, right? I'm fluent in both. Yeah. But the alphabet's the same. Learning a language with a completely different alphabet is crazy.
It's difficult.
Yeah, so and then I also got into fighting. Like MMA. Not that it's doing MMA, right? I got a punching bag,
nice.
And that's about it. But also
nice.
I started watching MMA.
Nice. Who do you follow on MMA?
Yeah. Well, so today, actually, right after this, I'm gonna go watch the Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Is he fighting?
Fight. Yeah.
Wait, who's he fighting?
Justin Gaethje.
Genji, right?
Is
it Genji? I thought it was Genji. It could be
Gaethje. Pronounce it how you want to pronounce it.
Yeah. Who do you think's gonna win?
Khabib.
Yeah. I mean, that was a stupid question.
I watched him fight Conor McGregor 3 years ago.
Me too.
Live, and that was crazy.
Conor held his own. He held his own for a little bit, but
barely.
I think I'm ashamed to admit this now, but in the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight, I was like, Conor's gonna pull a big upset. He's gonna pull a big upset. I wanted him to, because Floyd's a little dick.
Floyd's such an asshole.
Sometimes. He works really hard. He does all this good work.
Yeah, sure. They all work hard.
But I really wanted him. I was like, pull the upset. He's a lefty. He's not used to it. Floyd's was the best in the world. Still holds his own. Of course. I mean, it makes sense that he won, and I was sad. But going into the Khabib Conor fight, I was like, yeah, Conor, you're not ready for this one, buddy. I didn't know who to root for in that situation. Yeah. Because Conor is such an asshole to Khabib. Yeah. He was insulting, like, Islam and Russians. Yeah. And then Khabib was like, fine, if you're going to do that, I'm going to, you know, and then he's like, Russians are 180 million of us, and there's only like 3 million Irish, so who's going to win in a war? And you're like, okay, I thought this was a UFC fight, right? But I mean, it got intense. Well, you know, they were. Did you see the interview with Khabib now? When they're like, "What do you think about doing a rematch with Conor?"
I don't want to talk.
He's like, "I don't want to talk about it." He's like, "He's a little bitch. I don't want to talk about it." Yeah, that sounds like Austrian. I don't know.
So I did a research paper. No, Khabib is from Dagestan.
In Czech,
right? Which is, Dagestan's a republic in Russia. So the Russian Federation is the official name of what we call Russia. Yeah. And it's composed of 22 different little republics, the biggest of which is like actual Russia.
Oh,
right?
So Russia is a republic within Russia.
Right.
Interesting.
I wrote a whole paper on this like 3 weeks ago, specifically about Chechnya and conflict in Chechnya, right? That whole region of the Caucasus, Dagestan, Chechnya, Ossetia, right? There's one more and I'm blanking on the name. But the point is, that's their national sport, is MMA, mixed martial arts. They are insane about it. I mean, they are the toughest people on the planet, I swear to God, right? The leader of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, promotes the sport actively. You know, he holds competitions. He has his own training academy. It's like a cult of personality kind of thing. It's a huge thing there, right? So Khabib is bred to fight other people, as is anyone, basically any young male coming out of Chechnya or Dagestan. It's crazy.
Well, also, I think it's interesting. What's the religious affiliation? Is it Muslim?
It's Muslim.
Yeah. That's interesting for Russia as well.
Right, and that's the things. That's what I wrote about, is conflict between that area, the Northern Caucasus, against the Russian empire in the early 1900s and modern Russia today. And then Chechnya fought a war with Russia in 1994 up until 2001.
And is Putin okay with it now? Like,
well, him and the leader of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, are best buddies. Right now.
That's what I was
Doesn't
thinking.
mean the people are. There's still obviously some. I mean, they've been fighting forever. You know, the people. Yeah. And it's not just Islam versus Russian Orthodox Church. Yeah. There's so many complicated factors.
But is there a Russian Orthodox Church?
Yes, that's the primary religion in Russia. is Orthodox Christianity, Russian Orthodox
Okay, so
Christianity.
this is a good question for
Okay.
you. Yeah, I thought communism is very, from my understanding, communism is very, religion is the opium of the masses. Is that
Yeah.
what-
So I don't know so much about the Soviet Union as I do modern Russia.
Right.
But the leaders of the Russian Orthodox Church, as you were saying, religion wasn't a thing in the Soviet Union.
When you-
The 1917, right,
Yeah.
October Revolution.
Yeah.
The people were revolting against the controlling forces.
Right.
That was the Tsar and the Church.
Right.
And
Okay.
So, right.
Yeah.
And then of course, I guess it just went away for a little while. And then of course, when the Soviet Union left, it came back.
That's so interesting.
I guess I'm not an expert on it though.
I feel like that's a
would
really like interesting
send people to
dichotomy.
Google
It's an interesting dichotomy
how
between
it flip flops like
how
that.
it flip flops, but also how there's like a Muslim population and a Christian population.
Well, so during just because I just wrote this paper, so
Yeah.
it's fresh on my mind.
Sure.
The Chechen people were subject to genocide during Stalin's rule. He sent them to Siberia, right, along with a bunch of other ethnic and religious minorities because they were a different ethnicity or a different religion, or because they were practicing religion at all. And part of that was because Chechnya is devoutly Muslim. Stalin sent them all away to go die, to go build railroads in the freezing tundra of Siberia.
It's crazy how much like empty space is in Russia.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, think about how big the United States is.
Yeah.
Just how massive of a country we are.
It's pretty massive.
Right? And then, but there's a good population distribution for most of the country, right?
Yeah.
Usually you'll find people.
There's not like a lot of empty wilderness per
Right.
se.
In Russia, you have the whole population is concentrated on the border of Europe, right? Of Western Europe. So Finland, Belarus, Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, Ukraine, that whole area. That's where Moscow and St. Petersburg are.
Yeah.
And then you have a city, which I can't pronounce the name of, on the far side, right
does it begin with
above Beijing.
Does it begin with a K?
I completely forgot.
It's one of those
Right?
Russian names.
And then in between, there really isn't, especially further up north,
yeah.
there's really just
Well,
not.
didn't they launch a huge nuke?
I'm
up
sure
there?
they did.
I remember hearing about they launched. I think they called it the Tsar bomb.
The Tsar bomb.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. In the Russian wilderness.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.